security program on spreadsheets, new regulations piling up, and audit dread? It's time for Vanta. Vanta automates security and compliance, brings evidence into one place, and cuts audit prep by 82%. Less manual work, clearer visibility, faster deals, zero chaos. Call it compliance or call it compliance. Get it? Join the 15,000 companies using Vanta to prove trust. Go to vanta.com/calm.
Are you one inspired child away from being a success? Stay tuned to find out.
Welcome.
Okay, here's the question.
Serious?
How are we dark horses? You know, the ones everyone is betting against, the ones they don't expect to win, place, or even show on the track, and they'll even laugh on us when we talk about trying. How do we show the world our greatness and triumph?
Come on.
Well, that's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers.
Let's go.
This is The Dark Horse Entrepreneur. My name is Tracy Brinkman.
And push it out.
What is up? What is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? Welcome back to your daily dose of inspired by our youth learning. I'm your Dark Horse host, Tracy Brinkman, and you, well, as you know, that's infinitely more important. You are a driven entrepreneur or one in the making. Either way, you're here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart, just start leveling them up with some great marketing, personal, or business tips and results in order to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. And that's why I'm here hitting you with another daily success episode coming to you straight from the Dark Horse HQ as we dive deep into success with actual advice, tips, and steps designed to help you level up your game, because as we already know, there are no shortcuts to success except for taking those little steps towards your goal every single day. And hey, if you're getting any value out of these episodes, this episode or any of the 125 that have come before, and want to keep getting these daily success tips, make sure you go on down there and hit that subscribe button. Leave us a 5-star rating and drop us some kind words in the review. The subscribes, ratings, and reviews tell the podcast platforms to raise us up a little bit in the rankings so that we get shown to more driven entrepreneurs like yourself. So take a moment and, show the love and help us spread the word. Definitely appreciate that. Back in episode 115, about 11 episodes ago? God, they happen so fast nowadays. I talked about how I believe that every child is one caring adult away from being a success. And I truly believe that. I think there's one caring adult out there that can go out there and impact a child's life, totally turn them around, or even lift them up even higher than they already are. Well, I read a story recently and I want to share with you today that clearly children like Kayla Marie have that caring adult in their life, which is amazing. But I think we can flip episode 115 on its ear today, because I think all of us entrepreneurs can be one inspired child away from success. Now, you see, well, on the weekends when most kids are, doing whatever it is they want to do. It's been a long time since I was a kid. I know when I was a kid, I was out there playing with my friends, practicing martial arts. We were going to the park and filming ourselves, building bicycle ramps and jumping cars and doing all kinds of other crazy things. It's their time just to be a kid and let loose and relax. Not for Kayla Marie, this youngster from Louisville. No, it's her time to head to work and share her passions. You see, Kayla Marie, at the ripe old age of 14, everybody, 2 years into being a teen, she has already opened her own storefront in Louisville. I believe it was on Bardstown Road. Her name is on the door, and she's filling the inside of that storefront with all her amazing creativity. I think here's one of the even cooler, inspiring pieces of this as I read this story is one of the things she quoted is that she decided, or she said we decided, I believe it was her mom and her, to start the business to help people feel good, right? All this COVID stuff is going on, and here's this youngster that wants to go out on her weekends, and she could be doing whatever she wanted, hanging out with her friends, whatever it is that fills her life with joy, and she wants to fill other people's life with joy. She wants to serve her community, her tribe, and make them feel happy and feel good. There's lesson number 1 right there. How many times have you heard any of the guests that have come on the show is to get out there and serve? You've heard me say it, pound it into your ears over and over and over again. If you're serving your tribe, you're gonna be a bloody success. And here we are, 14. She's already learned that lesson and has put it into action. Now, for Kayla, her store, I believe, was called Bubbly Bliss Bar. Now, she's filled it with a mix of bath bombs and candles and soaps and a myriad of different personal grooming products. All these things that can help you relax and chill. You know, all those things that we could use. You know, you got that stressful day. You're going through all kinds of craziness. You're trying to get business done. And you're trying to help you serve your community. And you want to chill. Drop a bath bomb. I've never used one. You know, it almost makes you want to. If I was, I tell you what, right now, if I lived in Louisville, Kentucky, I would cruise on over there and would buy some of this young lady's product because her inspiration is so amazing. I mean, she's all talking about how during this COVID time, it kind of filled her up with some anxiety, made her feel a little depressed with everything that was going on. So she, in turn, felt that others were feeling the same thing and wants to help them out. Now, their origin story for Kayla isn't a great one, unfortunately. She was inspired shortly after her father, who was an Army veteran. He passed away 5 years ago. And, I think she took on as a coping, quite probably as a coping mechanism, baking and creating products to help cope with his loss. And yet she's still baking and she's still selling those products in her store as well. We've all experienced a downtime, whether it's the loss of a loved one, like Kayla losing her father. I lost Krista way back when. We all experience loss in our life. And I think one of the great lessons in this 14-year-old is a huge example for us all on how to deal with loss or deal with any kind of tragedy that comes into your life. If you can find a productive way to cope with your loss and turn it into a way to bring a smile on other people's face, how huge is that? I mean, how reinvigorating would that be for you in your world? I mean, her store is filled with all these products that represent her and her heritage and the pride that she feels as a young Black teen in this pivotal time in her life, right? So in this pivotal time in her life, she loses her father. How many horrible tragedy stories do we hear like this that go in a completely different direction? How inspiring is it to hear of a youngster like this who's taking it, grabbing the bull by the horns, even when she's going through all these troubling times. I mean, losing a father is kind of huge, especially when you're, in the age when fathers can be so impactful, right? And then flipping it on its ear and turning it into a place that brings smiles and expressions of happiness on the faces of her customers, whether they are regulars or the first timers walking through her door, who in reading the story loved the place because it represents this positivity and this inclusion of all the wonderful things that just make them feel happy and give them this sense of peace. If she really shares this joy in seeing the wonder on people's faces and the amazement that they get to experience when they step inside as well. So here it is, 14 years old. She's bringing smiles and feelings of wonder and amazement to the people in her community. I think this young lady is definitely an inspiration for every single one of us old dogs like myself who are just trying to grind it out. And every time you feel down or you're like, man, I just can't keep on doing this, I want you to stop and think about Kayla and all the things she's doing at her young age, 14 years old. And she's just wanting to put smiles on people's faces, inspiring them to follow their dreams, whatever they are, so that they can achieve them just like she did. I want her story to help inspire you, help motivate you. If you're having a moment right now where you're like, I don't know, I'm going to be able to make it through this. You will, and you can, right? Think about Kayla. Think about anyone else you know in your life or read or heard a story of or anything that inspires you, picks you up just a little bit, and helps you take that next step to move forward to achieve your dreams. They're definitely possible. I believe in you. Trust me. Phew. All right. We had 2 youngsters inspiring us this week, man. I think that's awesome. Anyway, all right, my Dark Horse friends and family. That wraps up another inspirational, awesome week here at the Dark Horse HQ. And again, I'll remind you that if you want to keep getting all these daily success tips, the weekly guests I'm able to bring on to share their stories, and any of these inspirational stories I stumble across and share with you, please go on down there and hit that subscribe button. Drop us a 5-star rating. Leave us some kind words in the reviews. Again, these subscribers, ratings, and reviews tell the podcast platforms to lift us up in the rankings so that we can reach more driven entrepreneurs just like yourself. So take a moment, if you would, if you're getting any value out of this show, and help spread the love and the word. I definitely appreciate that. And then come on over to the Facebook group and share your inspirational stories, right? Go to facebook.com, put Dark Horse Tribe in that search bar there, and you should see us right there at the top. Come on in and hang out with us. If for some reason you can't find us that way, go to your favorite web browser, type in darkhorseschooling.com/Dark Horse Tribe. That should take you straight there. I look forward to meeting you in the group. All right, you get out there, you run your race, or help another youngster run their race, yeah? And let me hear about it. You get your results, and then let me hear about it. Come on over to the Facebook group and tell me all about it. Until next week, think successfully and take action.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
And you know this!
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.